All right, hello and welcome everyone to this call. It is an intro to getting out of debt joyfully. There is a class that is coming up um, sometime next week, I think, and 29th, I think it's starting. It's a 3-month series, and there'll be one call with me every week. So every Monday morning, there'll be a call with me around 7:40 a.m. So before you start your week, before you get moving, before you start your day, it'll be like a whole major dose of money. And how does it get any better than that? So also, so this what exactly is getting out of debt joyfully? It is a beautiful class that has been created by Simon Minasis, um, also the author of the same book by the same name, Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. It is part of the Joy of Business classes, and most of the Joy of Business facilitators, all of them who are allowed to conduct these classes, they conduct the Getting Out of Debt Joyfully classes. Now, um, if so, the best thing is, you don't really need to be in debt to attend these classes. There'll be just 30% of how to deal with your debt, what to do, how to change, how to shift things around, how to make things work. And there'll be at least 70% of a lot of talk, a lot of conversations about creation of money. So all those places where you're actually holding yourself back from creating money, we'll be talking about all those things. Just give me a minute, I have to switch on the fan. 1 minute. All right. So yeah, so that's what it'll be about. There'll be a lot of talk about creation of money, and that's why I named today's call Let's Talk About Money. So today we'll be talking a little bit about money. We'll be talking about a lot of other things. Now, the main thing is why people create debt is that time they chose whatever they chose, and they chose to borrow money or take a loan or do whatever to uh, choose whatever it is that they were looking to choose. So it could be they might have taken loan to say buy a house or go on a trip or buy some outfit or maybe attend some class or whatever. So they took some loan or borrowed some money from someone or something or whatever. Now the thing is, it's not fun for most people to earn money and then just give it away. So what they do is, because it's not fun, they end up creating a lot of money issues in the world, because if there is no money, how will they be able to repay, right? So money nahi hai, so how will we repay? So and it's all done subconsciously. It's not like cognitively or consciously somebody does not want to pay off the debt and that's why they're creating it like that. It's just that they just end up creating so much of funk with money, around money, for themselves, that they are not able, then they get caught up in that trap where they're not able to get out of it. And it's like a never ending, right? Just a minute, let me mute everyone. And yeah, so this is how it goes. Now, the thing is, what they don't realize is that if they have taken the loan or borrowed the money to choose something, there was an energy about what it is that they were looking to choose. But the thing is, at that moment, they were going all out to choose whatever it is that they were looking to choose. And they retreat from it, right? But the moment they start creating this funk where they start totally disregarding everything that they chose, because now there's this big sword hanging on their head that they have to pay off the money. They stop receiving from whatever it is that they chose, whether it's a house that they were looking to buy or a class that they were attending or some trip or whatever, for whatever reason that they borrowed the money. And what happens is most people they tend to create a funk around money where they stop all the creations. And there's like a stop energy. because they feel stuck and they keep feeling guilty about it, about not being able to pay back. But the thing is, there is a vicious cycle that they tend to get caught up in. And so we'll be talking a lot about that in the class. It is actually also supposed to be a 2.5-day class, and it can also be delivered in the form of a web on a tele series or tele calls. There'll be about 12 to 13 calls in all. And last time when I was doing it, I was conducting one call every 15 days, and I realized that every 15 days it used to take a lot of effort for me to get them all back on track to jump onto the next step. So that was wasting a lot of time, and it wasn't fun for me. So I decided right now that I'll offer these calls every week so that it's easier and there's a momentum going. So there'll be a lot of home plays, there'll be a lot of PDFs, there'll be a lot of clearings, there'll be a lot of information that we'll be giving about how to sort out your debts, what is required, what is it that's creating this funk in your world, what is it that you can actually, what are the tools that you can start using to start getting yourself out of this funk. And yeah, so this is what this call and this class will all be about. The first few calls will be all about getting out of debt, all those places where you're stuck. And the rest of the call, mostly 70%, the rest 70% of the call will be all about creation of money. And today we'll be talking a little bit about money. What are the things, little insights. I can't do the access clearings on these calls because they'll be going on my YouTube channel and stuff. So just know there are times that I'll say, okay, release, let go, it's supposed to be followed by an access clearing statement. So most of you know what that is. And those of you who don't know that, you can just Google and find out for yourself. Okay, so before we get started, does any one of you have any questions, anything you'd like to share, anything that's going on for you? Now's the time. You can just unmute and ask your question or whatever it is that's going on for you. Anyone?
Can I ask?
Yeah,
please?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So what's your name? There are like 5, 6 names written there.
Okay, my name is Bhavna. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. So
okay. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead, Bhavna.
So it's like this, that my husband keeps getting stuck in his payments get stuck. Then he has not somehow saved up, and both my daughters got married, and we are in debt, in which I had nothing to do with it, but because he had to, I couldn't finance everything. But I'm going through cancer myself.
Okay.
So he's got this debt, and his payments also not coming, and then we have something. Somehow he is not saved up. So it bothers me a lot.
Okay.
So that's what my question was. This: how to get out of this pattern?
Okay, so that will be part of the class, because it's not like just one question that can sort of answer or even be able to sort out what is the pattern. So during the duration of the whole calls, all those classes, you will be able to realize, okay, this might be the issue or something else might be the issue. But like when you mentioned that his payments are stuck, like he's supposed to receive payments and those are not coming, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So because it's that energy that I spoke about, because it's not fun to receive money and give it away. So you'd rather the money doesn't come to you, because if you don't have it, how will you give it away? So you end up creating a vicious cycle for yourself. So we'll be talking a lot about all of this in the upcoming calls, which will be part of the class. So see if you'd like to be part of that class.
How much is the energy exchange?
So the energy exchange for India is, I think, around 1,17,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Any one of you?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Bhavna. You're welcome. Any one of you? Any questions? Anything you'd like to share? All right, cool. So what can we talk about? So how many of you believe like that money just shouldn't exist? So if there were no money, then we wouldn't be caught up with all this funk or whatever's going on for us. Or, it's like life would be just so much more easy. And how many lifetimes have you lived where you didn't even require money? And what do you know what else is possible? And truth, would you be willing to play the game of money in this reality? So how many of you are actually refusing money to come to you when you believe it should not exist? And how many judgments do you have about money and the way the systems are working and how corrupt they are and everything else? So all the stuff you have and the judgment about and all the money systems and the monetary systems, who's in charge? Will you let go of all of that, all those judgments that you're holding in place, everything that is not allowing the money to show up in your life because you have some sort of judgment about it? Will you now release and let go of that? So you can choose. You can. What would you like to choose? Would you like to play with money? Would you like to? When I'm talking about playing with money, I mean, would you really, really like to be very present with money and what is it that you're creating and what's going on in your life? What is your money reality? What is it that you're avoiding? What is it that you're refusing? And so if you're refusing money, you're actually refusing to be a big part. You're refusing to be a part of this big change that is possible on the planet. So release and let go of all that. Now, sometimes we are like, where have you decided what did you come into this world for? Anything that you decided that this is what you should be doing, this is what your purpose is, and this is not what you're meant to do. And everywhere you're avoiding money because of that, you release and let go of that. Okay. Now, also, everywhere you thought that to create your life, you actually need to go to the past to figure out what you could create or what you were worth creating and what you deserved, what your value was, and figure out what you should be creating. Just release and let go of that. So most of us would be like, oh, okay, I'm going through this major funk with money. Let me go through something and figure out what is it that's keeping me stuck. And a lot of you will maybe go through certain modalities and try to figure out what is it that is keeping you stuck, what all showed up in your past lifetime. And you'll go through all that because you're searching for answers. What most of you don't realize is that what if you did not have to go search and look for all those places and insane reasons why you were not creating money? What if you were like, okay, cool, this shit changes now. This is not fun for me, universe. What do I have to be and do to change this? So sometimes when you're trying to understand why you're creating this funk in your world and in your universe, you start trying to understand something. And to understand something, you have to stand under that person or that universe, right? And that does not really create. So let me tell you let me explain it to you in a form of a joke. So once there was this Sardaji, okay, and okay, sorry. Once there was this guy who was walking down this road, and so he was walking down the road, and he sees cow duck on the road, and he's like, oh, that looks like cow dung to me. So then he goes near it and he sits down and he looks at it. He's like, this really looks like cow dung to me. So what he does, he takes a little bit on his fingers and he's looking at it and he's like, this feels like cow dung to me. Then he smells it and it's like, this smells like cow dung to me. And then he takes a little bit more and he tastes it. And he's like, yeah, this tastes like cow dung to me. And then guess what? He says, He's like, thank God I didn't step on it. You know, now what just happened here? He knew there's a countdown. What he was doing was trying to figure out, understand, see analyze the whole thing instead of just stepping over it, right? Across it. So what did he do in the bargain? He touched it, he tasted it, and all that stuff, just so that he could avoid stepping on it. So you see, everywhere in your life, each one of you is trying to understand why certain things are happening with you instead of acknowledging, okay, cool, this is happening. This is not fun for me. What do I have to be able to change this? So focus on creating the change instead of spending your whole life trying to figure out why certain things are happening to me. Why is universe treating me like this? Why am I in so much of debt, and why will not really create anything for you. It is your presence with what it is that's actually being created in your life. What is it that's actually keeping you stuck? What is it that's not really a fun energy for you? What do you have to be and do to change this? So the moment you say, okay, cool, this changes now, then that level of commitment, that level of choice, and that level of making it happen no matter what is what sets the momentum and starts changing things around, right? So instead of sitting around, moping around, feeling like a victim, thinking, oh gosh, now I am in so much of debt. What do I do? So what happens when you are in a lot of debt? There's this undercurrent of just constant worrying. It's like a not of fun energy. You're just worrying constantly, worrying. Now, what happens with that is the universe starts responding to the vibration you're being. So you're being the vibration of constant worrying or worrying constantly. So the universe thinks, oh, this person really likes that because this person is vibrating at that frequency of worrying all the time. So the universe says, here, take more. So the universe, like, okay, let me give this person more reasons to worry because this person really loves to worry. So the universe is just responding to the vibration you're being. It has no idea of what is right, what is wrong. And so you need to be very present with that and see, cool, what vibration am I being right now? Is that even working in my favor? What needs to change here? And also when you're asking for money to show up, how much are you guys not willing to even ask for things or choose things because you feel, oh gosh, how will it show up? So then you get stuck in that hows and the whys of how you will create something or actualize something or who will give it to you. So that's not your problem. There are times when you want something, just ask for it. So if, suppose you're in a lot of debt, just ask, okay, what will it take for me to have a lot of money and never enough and plenty to spend or something like that. Let me tell you the right thing. I just conducted a recent class and I keep forgetting longer things. 1 minute. Yeah. What would it take for me to have more money than I can spend and never enough? So when you ask for this, there is, what are you telling the universe? What will it take for me to have as much money as I can, like lots and lots of money, more money that I can spend, like so that no matter how much I spend, I always have a lot of money. And yet it's never enough because then there's this constant space of asking, receiving and creating more and more and more. Most people are like, oh gosh, how can I ask for so much? Is it okay if I ask for so much? Would people think I'm really, really greedy? That's not your problem. There is no limit to what you can ask for. And once you start creating money and actualizing it and receiving it, there's just a momentum that sets and you just keep on creating constantly. So everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive this with total ease, will you now destroy and create it all? Please write from good bad pop online show voice and symptoms. So if anyone of you wants to ask a question, just unmute and you can go ahead and ask. Sameer, do you want to ask? Because the thing was unmuted. I just muted you though. But if any one of you would like to ask, just go ahead and ask. Any one of you? Because I'll keep talking. There's so much information I have, and I just love talking. Not otherwise, but when I'm conducting classes. So if you now, if you had any choice in creating anything for your future without any judgments, without a purpose, what is it that you could create? Because like a lot of people think that they have come into this life with a purpose, or our purpose in life is just to, be there for everyone else and, keep doing things for everyone else. And then you tend to neglect yourself because somewhere there's this huge judgment. Also, what we would be addressing a lot in those calls would be, how certain people, when they don't really have a very fulfilling childhood, or any time when they've not really received a lot of love in their childhood, and or if any time any of that love was very, very conditional, then they think that if they do a lot, only then they will be able to receive the love. So they keep doing and doing and doing and giving and giving and giving, and mostly sort of like being a people's pleaser constantly. And that's also one way where they stop the creation of money for themselves, because somewhere they feel, oh, maybe I didn't do enough, or how can I choose for myself? What will people think? So a lot of people are not very fond of being judged. So, and it's not a fun energy. But what most people don't realize is that those judgments have nothing to do with you or with them. It is whoever's judging you, they are just doing that to stop you. So the moment, and they seem to do a good job of stopping you, because you don't like being judged. So the first thing you do is stop yourself and from creating more, from creating money, or you'll stop your money flows. So, like for example, when Bhavna asked, like her daughter just got married, and maybe her husband, and she just must have had a nice wedding and stuff, like they must have uh, created something really nice for their daughters. And if they were judged for that, they would end up creating a stop to their creations or to the money flows. So we have no idea what is it that stops. I'm just giving an example. I'm not sure if that will be true, but all these things start coming up in a call, when you're talking, when you're being facilitated at that moment. All these little insights, these little awarenesses, these little nuggets will start showing up, and you'll realize, oh gosh, I've been choosing to be stuck for such stupid reasons, and these reasons are not really creating anything for me. What needs to change? And then you actually choose that change for yourself. So also, when you ask questions, like if you ask a question like, if I had total choice in creating, if you had total choice in creating anything for your future without any judgments, without a purpose, what is it that you would create? Now, when you're asking this question, you'll start getting some sort of awareness, something that might sort of give you some insight, or there will be maybe some pathways that will start opening up, and things start shifting and changing. So you can ask, okay, what can I create that's beyond anything that I could ever imagine? What can I create that would have me live the life that I actually came here to create? And you can keep using declaring statements if required. Now, also, when you're asking these questions, you're not going to get any answers, but the answers, in a way, will sort of show up in the form of awareness. So that's what will start shifting. So awarenesses and answers are very different. Okay? So you can ask, if I choose this, will it expand my business and my money flows? If I choose this, what will be my life like in 5 years? If I choose this, what will my business be like in 5 years? If I choose this, who will I be in 5 years? Now, 5 years is long enough time, and yet close enough for you to figure out or perceive the energy of the change that your body and being will create. So you'll be able to perceive that change or get the energy of that, and you'll know what, and you just have to choose whatever is lighter for you. So, like, let's take for example, if you have to choose this class, you can ask these questions. If I choose this, will it expand my business and my money flows? If I choose this, what would my life be like in 5 years? If I choose this, what would my business be like in 5 years? And if I choose this, who will I be in 5 years? Your being also starts changing very drastically. It's like things that you've been holding on to, things that you've been implanted with, things that you've been all those points of view that you've been using to create your life, all that starts shifting and changing, and there's so much more that starts showing up, right? So, and how many of you ask questions and it shows up and then you don't choose it? Any one of you have done that before? That, if you've done that, that is where, exactly where you're choosing against yourself. Just be very present to that. You ask for something and it shows up, and then you're not sure what to do, right? So I'll give you an example. Long back, Simone asked me to be, she invited me to be part of her podcast. This was like almost 5 years ago, and or four, yeah, but sometime before COVID, couple of maybe 2018. So she invited me to be part of a podcast, and I was like, oh gosh, like what do I have to share, and how can I be part of a podcast? Like what will I talk about? And so I told her I'm traveling. I would love to be part of it, but I'm traveling. So for her, the whole world is an oyster. She's like very present with everything worldwide. So she's like, I told her I'll be in Paris at that time. So I'm not sure if I can be part of this. She's like, okay, cool. So she went through her diary and everything, and she checked her schedule, and she's like, okay, would 7 a.m. on such and such date, Paris time work for you? Because I told her I will be attending the 9 o'clock, 9:30 class. So she was like, would 7 a.m. work for you? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I replied, didn't know what to say, what I'm going to speak about in the podcast. And then I sent her a message and that what topic would we be talking about? And I didn't really receive a reply at that time. And I was like, thank God. Okay, because it's like you ask to show up, and when you're being given that opportunity, you don't trust yourself enough to actually show up. How many of you do that? And does that even work for you? So be very present with that. So eventually that call didn't happen because she missed adding it in her calendar, and that call just didn't happen. And I was like very, very, very secretly very relieved because I was panicking and I wasn't sure what I'm going to do. Of course, things have changed so much since then, but that time it was also stemming from the fact that I did not trust myself enough, like, or when you're not willing to see yourself as the gift, or when you not don't acknowledge everything that you are, you tend to just keep sidelining you. And then you wonder why everybody else is sidelining you. And then you wonder why money is sidelining you and nothing is showing up. So for everything to change, you also have to start acknowledging your own being, and recognizing who you are, acknowledging who you are, acknowledging and valuing all that you bring to the table, trusting yourself, and that's when things start shifting and changing. So how many of you don't even trust yourself with money? And then you wonder why money does not show up for me. So everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate that, please. Cool. So sometimes there are things that go wrong, and you've been trying and working really, really hard, and you chose against yourself to go be there for people and help them out, but there was still quite a bit of mess that got created. And then you start judging yourself, gosh, why the hell did I do this? So ask, okay, what is the gift in this? Okay. And even if it looks really, really horrible, ask, what is the gift in this? And then you will get the awareness that will make that difference for you. Okay, so anywhere that you've made something that happened really, really wrong, or blamed something else, or someone else, or blamed God, or the universe, or the spirit, or source for not loving you, for not trusting you, for not having your back, just release and let go of that. Okay. Now, how many of you also do not allow the money to show up for you because somewhere you think you're going to work really, really hard? And because you're not working hard, money is not showing up. Or you do not allow the money to show up because you have a point of view that you have to work really hard to make money. So those times when you did not really work hard enough, you don't allow yourself to receive the money. So who who taught you that you have to work really, really hard to be successful? Who was taught to push and force everything so that it happens? What all were you taught in your childhood, in your school, or from your parents, or the people around you, or your friends? So you realize everywhere you've been implanted with all of those, and all those implants of like you've got to work hard, all of that in any lifetimes, you have to let go of all those points of view and see what exactly is required. And then also what most people do is they will choose against themselves and then they'll blame somebody else for doing that. You'll blame something else or someone else and say, oh, it's because of this I'm not successful, or it's because of this the money didn't get created. So uh, everywhere you're choosing to be a victim and you didn't even know that you were being a victim instead of actually choosing to be you. Let all of that go. Okay. And what's the value of choosing to be a victim? So when you're creating all these debts, um, how much of it is validating uh, the victimness that you're choosing to be, to function from, the victim mentality that you're functioning from? And so, truth, what's the value of being the victim in your life? What's the value of being the victim of your money problems? And how many of you actually blamed others for your money problems? And everywhere you are still blaming people for your money problems, please let all of that go. Choose to be present with what is it that's going on in your life, what really needs to change, what needs to, what are the things that you need to, what are the tools that you need to start implementing, what are the different ways in which you can start creating your life that will start changing all the funk that you have around money. Okay? And everywhere you are blaming yourself for your current or past or future money creations, just let that go. Okay? Now, also, how many of you ended up having those points of view or those points of creation that you're not good enough and see you didn't get good marks, you'll not be able to get a good job or create a great business. So let all of that go because all that is from your childhood. Someone have a question? Yes. Can you go ahead? Savitri, Swarna.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me, Smriti?
Hi.
Can
Good.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I have a question, like a kind of a clearing I would request you from, is that I stopped showing up because I don't want to show up in particular group. I
Sorry.
couldn't say no to somebody.
Can you say that again? Can you say that again? What did you
I said
just?
I couldn't. I said I couldn't say no to somebody. So I started. I stopped showing up in their group of people.
I'm not getting what you're saying. You said you didn't want to show up in someone's life, so you started saying no to money, or is that what you said?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, yeah, a particular group of people whom I don't wanted to show up for.
Okay.
I eventually shut down myself so much that I did not show up for the world also. So, is there any clearing for that?
Yeah.
Because I don't
So
want to say no. I don't want to say no to those
I
people.
Okay.
So I started saying no to the money and even other opportunities.
So you don't know how to say no to them. So you end up saying no to money and all the opportunities. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. This is just a little confusion. So, okay, cool. So, what are you avoiding with them? Sure. What are you avoiding? Are they judging you for something?
Expectations. Their expectations are huge from me. So I think I'm avoiding that.
Okay, do you have to deliver?
Yes, yes. I have to deliver lectures and kind of a stuff.
Okay, so are you being paid enough for those lectures?
No, no, no. That's the reason. I'm
Okay,
not happy
so,
with the payment.
so let them know, okay, this is not working for me. Where are you not
Okay.
willing to stand up for yourself and say, this, something needs to change. I give a lot and I don't think I'm being paid enough for that. And this is not fun. And how much are you choosing to create your own business and choosing to create massive amounts of money, which you can if you're totally on your own and not responsible for others or not responsible for making money for others? What would you allow yourself to receive then?
Okay.
See, you're giving me only information in bits and pieces. So it's a little tricky for me to try to figure out. All I'm going to be doing is assuming that this might be one of the possibilities and talking to you about that. And I understand because it's like a public platform. It's you may not be comfortable talking about it. But if something's there in your life that is not fun for you, ask questions. Okay, what needs to change here? What do I have to be and do different? What do I have to do to, how do I let these people know this? And pocket pod, everywhere you're unwilling to receive massive amounts of money from this particular creation. Talk to them. Where are you not willing to talk to them? What will they do to you?
Okay.
So because when you're avoiding something, how much it's like a barrier that you've put up, and then that barrier, the universe does not realize anything, the difference between good and bad. It'll just be a barrier and it'll stop all the good things coming your way too. It'll stop all the bad things, but it'll also stop all the good things coming your way. So you have to let go of the barriers and just be very present with what is happening. And a lot of times, what are you assuming about them? Did you even bother asking them or talking to them? Where are you concluding or presuming that they might not like you talking about it, or they might, they'll be upset? And where are you not willing to make people upset? So maybe if there is a certain level of commitment that you've committed to, see if you'd like to complete that part of your commitment at whatever pricing that is there, and then say, okay, cool, I don't think I'd like to renew, and this is not fun for me. I love doing what I'm doing, but I don't think I'm being paid enough, and that's not fun. So what needs to change here? And I'm happy to leave if that's required, and then be that. So most of us do not create more in our lives because we are so scared to offend people. And a lot of times there'll be a lot of projection on you, like, hey, don't you dare grow bigger than me, or don't you dare start creating more. And it suits people to keep you limited and stuck so that you don't grow. So I say this in all my classes and most of my calls. Like, people will see you, they will see the gift of you, they will see your potency, they will see your power, and then they will hope and wish and pray that you don't see that about yourself. So you are moving around in the world, constantly judging yourself, thinking you're not good enough because nobody is validating you. People will not validate you. It suits them not to validate you. They're not validating you because they themselves are insecure. And if they validate you, they don't want you really soaring and blooming and doing, like, acknowledging it and then choosing so much more for yourself. So it suits them to have you constantly doubting yourself, right? So see if any of these are true for you, Savitri. See what needs to change here. Be present and ask lots of questions, but be willing to show up irrespective. And see, it's like when people judge you, they judge you to stop you. And it's not fun when people are judging you. So the first thing you do is stop doing all that you're doing because you don't want, so you start avoiding them because you don't want to receive the judgments. When people are judging you, that's the time to take all those judgments and turn them around 180 degrees to create so much more for yourself. That's the time to turn it up even more. That's the time to start choosing so much more for yourself that they have no clue how to stop you. That's the time to choose to be absolutely, absolutely unstoppable. So everything that doesn't allow that, let's release and let go of that, please. Follow that with the clearing statement. Okay, cool. I hope that sort of helps solve a bit of your query or whatever it is that you were asking for. But otherwise, it'll be like a more in-depth thing, like, you know, with what exactly the situation is and stuff. So yeah, I'm sure maybe you're not comfortable asking more about it on this public platform, but whatever it is, I hope you've got some insights and something that you can actually, questions that you can ask and see what needs to change.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, Nishant. Does debt mean that we do not trust ourselves to create money? Absolutely. Absolutely. You end up creating issues in your life because somewhere you're not trusting yourself, or somewhere others are projecting things on you or doubt. So they project their doubt on you. And that doubt is what stops you from creating more. So if you did not, if there was nobody there to validate you, if there was nobody there for you, what would you do? If there was nobody there to help you in this world, would you give up on yourself? Would you be willing to be there, standing so strongly behind you, having your back, that no matter what, even if there's nobody there, I will be there for myself and I will create. And I trust myself so dynamically that I will actualize all that I want to, and create all that I'm looking to create. It's that innate trust in yourself, the amount you value yourself, and you start creating so much more. So we'll be talking a lot about all these things in these calls. These are pretty in-depth calls, and there's lots that we'll be talking about. There's also a manual that we'll be getting. It is, if you think, oh, I have the Getting Out of Debt Joyfully book, I don't really need to attend this class, that's your choice. But I started off initially, I was like, oh gosh, these classes are so expensive. So, but I have access to all these books, let me read all these books. But when I started reading these books, and I was like, gosh, there has to be, these books have so much of information, and I wonder what these classes have. And when I started attending those classes, it's like the books cannot personally facilitate you, right? So there's so much that's going on within you. There are so many stuck energies. There's so many places where you're stopping yourself that actually you start becoming very aware of, and you start unraveling, and you start choosing more and more and more, and a whole new thing starts opening up and showing up for you. So cool. I think we've gone on for a very long time, and I have to get on to another training right now. So thank you so much, everyone, for being part of this call. I hope it contributed to you. I hope you got some amazing insights, and maybe a bit of where you might have been stopping yourself. And so there is this class coming up, Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. It is from 29th onwards till 6th of October, every Monday morning at 7:40 a.m. There'll be a 1 hour or 1.5 hour call. Plus there'll be a manual and PDFs and everything. There's another business mentorship program that I'm creating, which starts from sometime next week only. I think 18th. I'm not sure. It's So one of those days, sometime next week it starts. 24th, yeah, it starts on 24th. That's a 6-month mentorship. That is a call with me every Wednesday morning, again, 7:40 a.m. And there will be so much of information, again, clearings and stuff. There's no manual for that, but there's a whole program. You can check it out on smritigoswami.com. You'll realize that. You'll get all the information. And then there is one more call that is coming up. That is Access Business Money and Profit call. That is only for 55,000. It is a one-day class. It can be attended live here in Mumbai as well as online. So wherever you are, if you're really sort of stuck in your business, things are not moving, this particular class has a lot of insight, a lot of information about energy pools and how you can create energy pools for creating more in your business and the different kind of things that are required. It comes with a manual, and yeah, how does it get any better? So any of these that call out to you, just connect with me, and yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you guys. And I will be sending the recording for this. I'll be posting it in the groups that some of my groups. So, or you can just check it on the YouTube.
Shall we take a picture?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Smile, please. Smile. I will take yours first.
Thank you. You also say if I can.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Smriti.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.